Have you read Joshua 17? The listing goes on and on. Remember, it is a fulfillment of the promise of God, hence the term the Promised Land. But in the midst of the list of cities and boundaries is a reminder that we don't always completely follow God's instructions. And so we read here in Joshua chapter 17, verse 11. In Issachar and in Asher, Manasseh had Bethshean and its towns, and Ibleam and its towns, and the inhabitants of Dor and its towns, and the inhabitants of Endor and its towns, and the inhabitants of Tahanach and its towns, and the inhabitants of Megiddo and its towns. The third is Napath. But the sons of Manasseh could not take possession of these cities, because the Canaanites persisted in living in that land. The next verse tells us the best they could do was use them for forced labor. Not exactly the removal from the land God had instructed. There is not a full explanation other than that they persisted in living in the land, or persisted in staying. Either way, they ignored the eviction notice. One might wonder what the harm was allowing them to stay. They did take advantage of the presence for the labor. It is one of those facts we need to pay attention to that will come into play later. What might seem insignificant now will be monumental later. We find later that rather than the Israelites leading the Canaanites to worship the true and living God, the Canaanites actually persuade God's people, the light to the world, to practice idolatry and put their trust in lifeless stone and wood. What little things have we allowed to stay that caused us problems later? What little sin or disobedience have we ignored or justified that has limited our spiritual growth? Our relationship with Jesus matters enough for us to get it right. Read, learn, and then right the wrong. Keep reading, encourage others to read, and expect to find more gems to help us live like Jesus. Thank you.